friends, Miss Cassie here with Solon Public Library's Digital Storytime. This week we are going to be talking about our community and even in a bigger picture, the country that we live in. But first we need to sing our welcome song and we need to get our clapping hands ready. So we're going to wiggle our fingers and shake our hands and rub them together really fast, really fast, really fast. And put them on our knees. All right, here we go. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, clap your hands. Okay, what do we do after we clap our hands? That's right, we stomp our feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, stomp your feet. Okay, what do we do after we stomp our feet? That's right, we twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, twirl around. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, twirl around. All right, for our last verse, we're going to be as quiet as we can. And we're going to whisper, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. If you want to read a book, have a seat and take a look. If you want to read a book, whisper hooray, hooray. Our theme song this month is The More We Get Together by Raffi. And we learned 3 American Sign Language signs to go with this song. Do you remember what they are? That's right, our first sign is get together. And it's like this, like we're building a snowball. Get together. And then we have happy, which is just right here, right above our sternums. Happy. And friend. We have one friend, and they give each other a hug. And this is friend. Okay, we're going to do these signs when we hear those words in our song. Here we go. The more we get together, 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 the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Yay! Great job. Our first book today is called Sometimes People March, and it's written and illustrated by Tessa Allen. Do you know what a march is? March is a word that can have lots of different meanings, right? There's the month of March. There's also the action of marching, like in a parade. There's also a march as a noun can mean an event where a lot of people gather together, they hold signs, and they draw attention to an issue that they are passionate about or that they're concerned about. So in this book, we're going to learn about lots of different kinds of marches that have happened in our country throughout our history and even still today. Let's learn together. Sometimes ants march. What are those ants marching up along? A watermelon, yeah. Maybe at a picnic. Sometimes bands march. Like a marching band. I was in a marching band in high school, and we would march in parades and at football games. And sometimes people march. Marching is something people do together when they want to resist injustice, or when they notice the need for change. What are these people noticing on the beach? There's lots of trash and litter, right? And that doesn't make the beach a very nice place for people to visit or for animals to live. It would be nice if the beaches were cleaner, right? People march for many reasons. People march for things they care about and people they love. People march for the health of their bodies and their communities and the world. What does this sign say? Can you read it? It says, protect water. Water is something that's in our communities that keeps our bodies healthy and our world healthy. That makes sense that it's something that we should protect. People march for the freedom to love and live and learn. Sometimes people carry signs to share their stories of resistance. There's a lot of signs in this picture. Some of them say things like, stop the war, votes for women, Black Lives Matter, act up and fight back. We are the 99%. March for our lives. Refugees are welcome here. Access is a civil right. People resist in many ways. Sometimes people resist with their voices, and they have some people here doing a call and response. So one person says, show me what democracy looks like. And then the other people respond, this is what democracy looks like. They might resist with words, or with songs, or with art. People resist with meetings. They resist by standing up, or sitting down, or taking a knee. It isn't always easy. Feet get tired. Arms get tired. Hearts and hopes get tired. Sometimes problems seem too big or complex. But we do not march alone. Ants are stronger together. What are all those ants working together to carry? A piece of that watermelon. It would be too big for one ant to carry by themselves, but when all of the ants work together, they're able to carry a really big piece of food back to their anthill, right? Back to their community. Bands are louder together. Look at all those instruments. If you just had that one person playing the flute, would that be as loud as a whole band playing all kinds of different instruments? No, they're louder together. And people are more powerful together. So look, do you see these people? They're standing arm in arm. Their arms are linked together. They're making a statement. People pay more attention when there's more than one person. Sometimes from feelings of fear or anger or injustice comes the hope for change. Sometimes great change starts small with a brave question. Maybe your question, a question that calls people together. Like that family at the beginning of the book, right? Why is the beach so dirty? That's a question. And maybe other people want to know too. And then it pulls all these people together. Do you see this picture? There's so many people, we can't even see all of them individually. It just becomes a big mass of people. And together, we find the courage to march. So at the end of this book, they have all of this additional information about all the pictures that we saw. So each of those pictures of people marching and resisting and protesting come from actual events in history. Things like the Newsies strike in 1899 where hundreds of kids who were working went on strike to fight the unfair practices of New York's biggest newspapers. That seems like a pretty big problem, right? Something that is really complex and maybe too hard to solve with just one person. But when everyone comes together, that's when things change. There's also pictures from the disability rights activism, where activists, beginning with Dorothea Dix, have been organizing for disability rights since 1800. That's a long time. That's a big, complex issue that is taking a long time that people are working on. There's also pictures from the global climate strike. The global climate strike just started a couple years ago, and it's still happening. Also, kneeling protests at football games. Maybe you've seen that on TV. That's something that just started in 2016 and is also still continuing. So there's all kinds of extra information here at the back of the book if you're interested in finding out more about why sometimes people march. I hope you understand now more why things like this happen. We even had a march here in Solon, Iowa. Did you know that? Maybe you were even there. It was a march for Black Lives Matter to talk about why Black people and people of color, their lives are just as important as white people's lives. And this was an event that got people in Solon here together, and we marched together down to the gazebo, and we heard people from our community talk about why this is something that needs to be talked about in our community, even if it can make people uncomfortable, or even if it's something that maybe we don't think is a problem here, but it is, and we didn't even know. And there's things that we can do to make our community more welcoming and inclusive to everybody. Don't you think that's important? Our next song is about people in our community that help our community be successful. So it's called Community Workers, and it's sung to the tune of Hi Ho the Dairy-O. So our very first community worker that we're going to talk today about are firefighters. We have firefighters here in Solon. They are volunteer firefighters, and they come to our house if there's a fire or another problem, and they help keep us safe. And that makes them very brave. So our first verse is Firefighters Are Brave. Firefighters are brave. Firefighters are brave. Hi ho, what do you know? Firefighters are brave. All right, our next community helpers, community workers are teachers. And what do teachers do? They help us learn, right? Teachers are usually the ones who help us learn how to read so that we can read all the great stories in the library. They teach us math so that we can count things. And they teach us how to be kind to each other. Teachers teach us a lot. And so teachers help us learn. Teachers help us learn. Teachers help us learn. Hi ho, what do you know? Teachers help us learn. Okay, we also have doctors in our community, and doctors keep us well. We go to the doctor when we're not sick to make sure that everything is working how it's supposed to. And we also go to doctors when we are sick, and they help make us better. So doctors keep us well. Doctors keep us well. Doctors keep us well. Hi ho, what do you know? Doctors keep us well. We also have police officers in our community. We have a sheriff that is here in Solon, and other neighboring communities have police departments. And the job of police officers is to keep us safe. That is what they should be doing in our community, right? So, police officers keep us safe. Police officers keep us safe. Police officers keep us safe. Hi ho, what do you know? Police officers keep us safe. Okay, and lastly, we have mail carriers. Mail carriers bring us our mail, important things like our mail-in ballots for the election that's coming up, and birthday cards from our friends and grandparents. Mail carriers bring us a lot of stuff. They bring us our mail. Mail carriers bring us our mail. Mail carriers bring us our mail. Hi ho, what do you know? Mail carriers bring us our mail. Let's give a big round of applause for all of our community workers that help our community be successful. Yay! All right, I have some more community helpers here, and they are all mixed up. We have some heads up here and some feet down here. Can you help me match our community helpers together? Great, thanks. Let's see. Let's start with this friend. This is someone who we just sang about in our last song. Can you see what's on their hat? Yeah, it's an envelope. We use envelopes to send mail. So let's see. I think that this person, they're probably wearing blue, and maybe they're holding an envelope. Can you see some feet and some arms here that might match our mail carrier? Let's see. What about this one? Does this match our mail carrier? He is standing next to a trash can and holding a trash bag? No, I don't think that's our mail carrier. What about this person? They're wearing a white coat and holding something in their arms. Do you think that's our mail carrier? No, I don't think so either. What about this one? This person is wearing blue and wearing a bag with a bunch of envelopes and even holding an envelope. Do you think this is our mail carrier? I think so too. Great job. There's our mail carrier. And what do mail carriers do again? They bring us our mail. That's right. Okay, let's see. Who do we want to do next? Let's look at this friend. So let's see, this friend is holding, what animal is that? A dog. What sound does a dog make? Bow wow, or woof woof, or ruff ruff. Okay, so this friend works with animals, and it looks like she's wearing a white coat. So let's see, what feet go with this person? Do we think this body matches? They're wearing a blue shirt and a tie, and they're not holding anything. Does that match our person? Nope, it doesn't. Let's see, what about this one? This has a desk with books on it, and it says library. Do we think that matches our person who's holding a dog? Probably not. Dogs aren't usually allowed in the library, right? Let's see, what about this body? This body has a white coat, and it looks like the person is holding something. Do you think that matches? Yeah, I think so too. Now that we can see the whole person, what job do you think this person has? Yeah, she looks like a doctor for animals or a veterinarian, right? Veterinarians help keep our pets well. Okay, we still have 4 more helpers to match up. Who should we do next? What about this friend? This friend is wearing a green hat and a green shirt and vest. I wonder what job they do. Let's see. Do you think it matches this body? This body is wearing a skirt and holding maybe a folder that says teacher on it. Do you think that matches right here? Nope, not quite. What about this body with the blue legs and blue shirt and a blue tie? Does that match? Nope, it doesn't. What about this body? standing next to a trash can holding a bag of trash. It looks like their shirt is blue or is green. Let's see. Yes, sure enough. What job do you think this helper has? Yeah, it's a trash collector. What an important, helpful job. Have you ever in your family missed trash collection day and then your bin was so full the next time and you had to make sure it got out there? Yeah, if we didn't have people who pick up our trash on the curb, we would just have trash everywhere, right? So important to keep us healthy is to have workers that can take our trash away from our houses when we're done with it. Let's see, who's next? Let's do this friend. So let's see, it looks like she's pointing at a whiteboard maybe or at a screen and she's holding something in her hand. I wonder what job she has. Let's see, do we think that she matches with our library desk? Does that fit? Nope, not quite. Look, then she would have 4 arms. That doesn't work. What about this body with the blue pants and the blue tie? Does that fit? Nope. I think this body matches. Let's take a look. Oh, sure enough, look. She's holding a clipboard and pointing to the whiteboard or the screen. And her clipboard says teacher on it. Look, this is a teacher. And teachers help us learn, right? We talked about that in our song. They help us learn how to read. They help us learn math. They teach us to be kind to each other. Teachers are very important community helpers. All right, let's take a look at this friend right here. He has a special blue hat with a shield on it. And he's wearing a blue shirt with a blue tie. So let's see. Do we think that he matches with our library desk? No, librarians don't have to wear blue hats with shields, right? I don't have a blue hat on. Do you think he matches with this body with the blue pants and the blue shirt and the blue tie? Yeah, I think he does too. Oh, and look, he even has a badge on his shirt too. What job does this friend do? That's right, it's a police officer. And do you remember what police officers do from our song? Police officers keep us safe, right? That's their job. Okay, we have our very last friend right here. And she is wearing a pink shirt and she has some books next to her. So we only have one body left and it is our library desk. So we know that that matches together. And so what job do we think this friend has who has books and a desk at the library? That's right, she is a librarian. Do librarians just sit at desks and read books? No, we also do story times. We help patrons find books on the shelves. We check books out to people. We buy new books and label them. We do all kinds of programming at the library. Right now it's virtual, right? Because I'm saying hi to you in your houses or maybe in your preschool classrooms. Librarians do all kinds of things to help our community. All right, let's see, how many community helpers did we match up today? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 community helpers that we put back together today. Thanks for your help, friends. The last book today is called Let's Vote on It, and it's written by Janice Behrens. Now, voting is something that is going to be happening in our community very soon. In the United States of America, we vote for our public officials. So we vote for our mayor, and we vote for county supervisors, and we vote for the governor, and we vote for state senators and state congresspeople, and we vote for the president of the United States, and we vote for federal senators and federal congresspeople. So we vote for all kinds of things. We can also, in our daily lives, if we're in a group of people, we can also vote on what kinds of decisions we want to make. Maybe in your family you have taken a vote on what movie to watch for family movie night. Or maybe you have taken a vote on what name to give your pet, or maybe even what kind of pet to get. So voting is something that we can kind of do all the time. Let's read more about how voting works. Vote for a class pet. That's another thing you can vote for. We are getting a class pet. We can get a goldfish or a hermit crab. How can we choose? We'll take a vote. And look, they're going to vote by raising their hands. So they're thinking about, do we want a fish or do we want a hermit crab? Maybe you don't know right away what you want. So first, we read books about goldfish. We read books about hermit crabs too. We talk about what we like and do not like about each pet. That helps us choose which pet we want. So look, here's the teacher, and she has made a list on the whiteboard of things they like about goldfish and things they don't like about goldfish, things they like about hermit crabs and things they don't like about hermit crabs. They make a chart. Time to choose. Now we are ready to vote. Everyone gets a ballot. Oh, so they're not going to vote by raising their hands. They're going to vote by using a paper ballot. That's like how we vote for our elected officials in our community. A ballot shows your choices when you vote. We color our choice on the ballot. Which pet would you choose? So look, their ballot just has two choices, right? Because they're just choosing between a goldfish and a hermit crab. So if you had this ballot at home and you were going to vote if you wanted a pet goldfish or hermit crab, which one would you vote for? I think I might vote for a hermit crab. I've never had a pet hermit crab before. And they might be kind of fun because you could hold them in your hand. But a goldfish might be fun because you could see them swimming all around. And fish are pretty cool. I don't know. Which animal do you think is going to win? Let's find out. Next, we fold our ballots and put them in a ballot box. Our teacher says we do not have to tell anyone how we vote. That's true. And they fold them up so that you can't even see your friend who's standing in front of you. They put their ballot in. You don't know what they colored, right? It's a secret. You can choose to tell, but you don't have to. Finally, our teacher counts the votes. She makes a tally to keep count. The pet with the most votes will win. Which pet do you want to be the winner? Have you thought about it? Which pet do you want to win? Are you team hermit crab or team goldfish? In the picture, it looks like so far the goldfish is winning because the goldfish has 1, 2, 3 tally marks and the hermit crab has 1 tally mark. But as the teacher pulls out more ballots, that could change. Oh, the goldfish wins because more kids voted for the goldfish. Some of us voted for the hermit crab, and that's okay. We will get to vote again. Soon we will vote for a name for the goldfish. Voting is a fair way for a group to make a choice. You can even vote with your friends or your family, right? We just talked about that. Which game would you vote for? Kickball or jump rope? And look, this time they are just voting by their hands. You don't have to make a formal ballot every time. You can just say, who wants to play kickball? Who wants to play jump rope? And then count, and whichever one has more, then they get to play that game. Adults vote too. In the United States, adults vote to choose our leaders. When you turn 18, you get to vote in elections. So that means you might be a senior in high school the first time you get to vote, or you might be in college the first time you get to vote. But adults who are 18 and older, they're the ones who get to participate. That means that when you grow up, you can vote to elect or choose our leaders. But until then, you can vote for kickball. And then look, here at the end, they have pictures of how voting works. And there's a picture of a boy and his mom going to their voting place, standing in line, and then going into the voting booth. Voting booths can look different in different places. The picture of a voting booth here doesn't look like the voting booths where I go to vote, but in some places, that is what they look like. But no matter what your voting place looks like, your vote still counts the same. All right, friends, I hope you learned a little bit more about our community and our country where we live, and that you learned about ways that you can get involved in decisions that are made. Even if you're not old enough to vote yet, you can still participate in different marches in the community. You can also still learn about our community leaders and decide what you think about them. Even if you can't vote, you can still say, I think the president's doing a great job, or I don't think the president's doing a great job. You can still have your own opinion, right? All right. Well, it is time for our goodbye song, friends, but we will see you next time for Digital Storytime. We read a book, and we played a game, and we sang a song together. We read a book, and we played a game. We had a fun adventure. Now go read a book and go play